So I kind of decided to model a little bit more Miller's Falls No.1 Spokeshave, and specifically I was curious about the angles. But in reality, it doesn't cut. You do whatever you want, but it's not gonna cut. And this time I actually made a small model of the Spokeshave, or maybe even this one profile of the Spokeshave in Fusion 360. So one thing that I will show the correct angle, I think a correct angle, and a little bit incorrect angle, and what the impact of the angles. So basically, for the good operations, so this is the blade that can be rotated in the Spokeshave, this is the body of the Spokeshave, and this is just a piece of wood that is supposed to be cutting. So basically, if the angle is correct, this is what happens. So basically there is a small pieces in there, and if I present the wood, it will be cutting like, and you basically see that that's a nice cut. However, if I show you the same but with slightly incorrect angle, basically more shallower angle that was put on the blade, and kind of really exaggerated this angle, like in reality it's probably a little bit smaller than that, 10, so let's say 20. And this can happen basically whenever you sharpen and do the micro bevel and just do a little bit more unnecessary. So if you, so in this case, oh, I need to remove. If you try to make create a shavings, look, let's say this is the setup of the blade was like this, and you try to make a shavings, you're not gonna be able to do it. So maybe if you kind of rotate this a little bit and kind of present this wood in a different fashion, still it's not cutting because the angle is not actually allowing it to cut. However, you probably be able to cut it if you present the wood to the Spokeshave, or at the very edge of the wood, then it will probably cut. And you saw in my previous video it actually was working. So like after my initial sharpening, I was able to cut a little bit from the side, but nothing else was going on, because this is what happens basically. There's a tip that's not allowing me to go out, and kind of everything is broken at this moment of time. So basically you need to play with an angle. I don't really know yet how exactly to measure this angle. So this is what, so the angle I was looking at was this 20 degrees, but it's 20 degrees of this specific angle, and if you do it less, it will do something more. I need to really understand this specific angle, because this one is different from this one for the obvious reasons. And the angle that I actually come up with here was for this thingy was like 4 degrees, which is really small. But I don't know, this angle, do you think it's actually 4 degrees? Maybe not. But in any case, when I was also sharpening, and not only did this sharpened like to whatever shallow edge, but also did a little bit of sharpening of this one. So the angle to the actual cutting angle is different from whatever this 5 degrees, and probably that's a good idea. But in any case, that's kind of the whole point. If you have a shallow angle, then you're able to cut in any position. So for example, if you present it here, you will be able to do the cut. If you present the edge, you'll be able to do the cut. A heel of the blade is actually not on the way, so everything is working reasonably well. What I'm still kind of researching and trying to understand is the cut for concave surfaces. So it's kind of, don't fully understand yet to which place the blade should be set up. So I think it should be somewhere here in order to do the concave surface. But it's still, I still need to do a little bit more modeling for this one. So for example, instead of this piece of wood, I may need to create a new one. Sketch. And let's say I'll do kind of curvature this type of wood. Extrude, which I will extrude 1. So it's actually in there. Okay, so top, show everything. So now, okay, this one I don't care. And now this one. Okay, so now at the concave positions. again, I'm looking at my at the angle that I picked 4 degrees. So, and as you can see, if I try to do anything, and again the heel is making all the problem. So I need to figure out what am I supposed to do. So in order to do this one, I think then the heel has to be removed completely. Okay, I'll do for the fun of it, I will change this 4 degrees to like 2 degrees to change the blade, and even 2 degrees is not working. So I have this angle, this, and this, and then all these guys will be parallel. Okay, so now I did a different angle, and we'll see what's gonna happen. So now, still not cutting. Woo! Am I crazy? I really have to do. So this angle, I guess, has to be significant degrees. Now I get 10. No, that's like way too much. Because basically I cut everything. So it cannot be 10. 4. This is like a very tiny angle. I can change it. Okay, so the reality that was, I also had this thing. So there was from, I guess somewhere from this point, there was a tiny angle here, and then there's a connection here. Okay, so this is, I kind of accommodated whatever the flat surface I did, but even with that, it's even worse. So if I try to cut a little bit here, I'm still gonna be able to cut. If this part, it will be cutting until I got in there, but then at least for this curvature it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. I don't know, honestly. Is it supposed to be like a profile then? Like I cut more on this side, like literally cut inside somehow. This is just the fun of it. I will see if I like remove this part, I will be able to cut. No, because I still hitting this part, so there is no chance for that. I don't know, like I'm changing the angle, but there's no, it makes no sense. Okay, let me approach it in a different way. So we'll do this guy to be, I don't know, 25 degrees. Okay, so that 25. That was the angle, and then I will create another angle here. But let's say that's what the cutter I want to get. Maybe. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. So this is the end of the story. That's like weird. We know that this is 30 degrees here, some kind of degrees there. We'll see. Wow. This one is actually working. But this is like ridiculous part. This is way ridiculous. Let me try to modify angle. Okay, so let's do whatever, capture 10 degrees, which is more realistic stuff. The angle, now it looks like this. Look. Huh. I have a feeling that I was just approaching this in completely wrong direction. this one is a huge cut. And it has no problem of whatsoever. Huh. Because if I do this to like 0, let's say 1. Okay, this one I can only do 45. Well, the documentation that I was looking before suggesting different thing. Okay, so 35. Which basically means the bevel should be on the inside, not on the outside. So bevel up. That's interesting. I will actually have to ask this question. I mean, it looks way different. So again, for this one you need the very shallow angle, as I was showing in the beginning. So if you put 4 degrees, hopefully it will do some of the jobs. For the flat surface though. For the rounded, not gonna work. I will have to confirm this, but to me this Spokeshave is bevel, not bevel down as I just did it. And this is some of the old instructions that I found for this Spokeshave, which is bevel down again, bevel down, and they will actually show in this this thing. But in reality, it doesn't cut. You do whatever you want, but it's not gonna cut unless I do its bevel up. Instead of that, I'm gonna be taking this and this. Okay, so now with this angle I can cut. I can cut a lot. Interesting, I think the modeling actually helped, because otherwise I would have been reducing that angle a lot. But then I guess that's the mystery that kind of solved. I will need to confirm with the experts in area about these Spokeshaves, but at least for now I think I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Because this one is actually working very good for flat surfaces and concave surfaces, but I really needed to work for the convex, and in order for the convex to work, I think I need a different bevel, or at least the one that I was showing you. In any case, hopefully this course of the modeling of the bevels using Fusion 360 was helpful for you. If you're interested in more in details how I actually did all this stuff, let me know. I can talk a little bit more about that. But then that's it for now, and see you next time. Bye.